Just kidding. I'm here, really. Good morning, gang. How are we all doing today? How are you all doing this fine day? Me? Well, I've had a last-minute change of heart, I'll tell you that much. If you were here yesterday, you may recall that I was promising to give away a leap hair baseball cap today, but for reasons that will become clear shortly, we've decided to switch the leap hair hat for a Komatsu hat instead. And that is what she looks like. There you go. Komatsu, 1921, in a very fetching shade of red. If you'd like to win, or be in with a chance of winning that hat, just type the word CAP, C-A-P, into the chat, and we'll be drawing the winner out at the end of the electronic hat at the end of the show. As you can see, it's Christmas jumper time. Gary Muirhead prompted me to do so, and I am, Gary, you've just typed Komatsu. The word to type is CAP. Thank you. James Doble's just got it right, so well done on that. Gary's got it right as well now. Still got plenty to show you, although it is a bit of a strange show today because, well, as you're about to see, the cupboard is largely bare right now. But let's crack on and see where this old stuff and nonsense takes us. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. Just trying to catch up on a few of the entries this morning, and we've had an entry in from somebody called Pete Cook. I don't remember seeing Pete here before, so welcome, Pete. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. As a newcomer, you get the welcome confetti, and welcome aboard. Whatever the hell this is these days. Let's have a look. Where are we? Yes. Today, it is Friday, the 23rd of December. And as that remarkably persistent guy just said, for the final time this year, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we've got some Komatsu. Then we've got a bit more Komatsu. We've got a bit more Komatsu after that. And then when that's over and done with, we've got some Komatsu. But we've also got some electrifying news from JCB as well. And we're going to get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! It is many happy returns to composer. To jazz trumpeter. I don't know where that composer's come from. Chet Baker, and to rock and roll star Johnny Kidd, the one with the pirates. Shaking all over. Anybody remember that? Maybe not. Happy birthday also to Derek Smaller fictional band Spinal Tap, to actress Joan Severance, Pearl Jam singer Eddie Vedder, and to actor Corey Haim, to socialite Tara Palmer Tompkinson, models Jodie Marsh and Holly Madison, and to Stranger Things star with the incredible name Finn Wolfhard. Finn Wolfhard. Somebody called their child Finn Wolfhard. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Quick good morning to Jim Turner and to James Sutherland. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Don't forget, I need to remind you, actually, don't I? Let me just press this button here. There you go. Type CAP, C-A-P, into the chat. And we will draw those out at the end of the show. Now, I've just realised, bear with me 2 ticks, because the giveaway tool has just gone down for some reason. Let's have a look. It's okay. It's back up. We are back on course, people. That is a bit of an unreliable tool, that I'm afraid. I'd already put away my notebook and pen and taken off the hat with the press sticker on it this morning. As far as I was concerned, the working day and the working year was pretty much at an end. And then JCB dropped this.
Hi, I'm Lee Harper, Chief Engineer of Electrification, and we're here today to celebrate this landmark achievement of 1,000 mini excavators built since the product launch.
So I'm Bob Womersley, formerly Product Innovation Director in JCB, and I was responsible for leading the machine electrification strategy in JCB, which frankly built on a decade of absolutely relentless attention to detail and machine efficiency, driving down CO2 emissions, and hence that naturally led into our electrification strategy, where we needed a very high-tech machine that was extraordinarily efficient to leverage the very best of electrical technology.
So this machine program here for the 19C1E developed our skill set and sharpened our focus on the relentless need for efficiency on these machines. Since its launch, we've then carried the technology that we developed within it into several new platforms for JCB, launching a site dumpster, 1-ton dumpster, telescopic handler, and some more products soon to be announced.
So in my job as Product Innovation Director, it was particularly fulfilling in leading such a talented team of technical engineers who know the essence of hydraulic systems, of dick systems, of motors and batteries in developing a product. And not just any product, but really a product that was a commercial proposition, such a successful commercial proposition for our customers.
So the secret to our success is a keen eye on commercial viability, making our products work for our customers and help them to earn a living. So we make sure our machines are the most efficient, far more efficient than any of them out there. I'm going to focus throughout the machine, the attention to detail on hydraulic fittings, optimization of the electric motors, the hydraulic system, the control software, and everything between. That gives us the longest run time on the minimal amount of battery, which controls the cost as best as possible.
And so what have we got? We've got the world's first, but it's a machine that's got the longest run time. It's got the best performance. It's zero emissions, of course. And really seeing so many machines being sold across the world has been splendid for JCB. What I would say, the technology that is in there is actually state of the art. And yet, whereas much of it has been developed around automotive systems, we had to take care to make it robust so that it works in off-highway environments. It can cope with all the vibrations and contamination that the naturally dirty environment of working in a tracked excavator. And so the technology to make this robustness was quite a challenge.
Throughout the development of the 19C1E and its powertrain technology, attention to detail on everything was the key. So we looked at the optimization of the hydraulic system, chasing the efficiencies out of that, chasing detail on hydraulic hose fittings, everything, everywhere there was a pressure loss or a loss of energy, we sorted it and improved upon it. The electric motor was optimized and its winding configuration matched to the peak efficiency of the hydraulic system. The power electronics and software configured to allow that motor to operate at the best performance all the time, regardless of what the machine was doing. And of course, the battery system. The high reliability battery system using the top grade cells that we can get and making sure that's the most robust solution for our customers at the best value. So another factor in the 19C1E's success was the manufacturing, engineering and operations teams that helped pull this together. They've come up with processes that allow us to safely assemble electric machines in volume, and that has been replicated now on 3 continents worldwide, and we now retail those machines in 27 countries.
So it's clear that, the team here should be so proud, because it isn't just a machine that's got penetration with new customers, conquest customers. It's got international recognition. We've got national and international technical awards for the product. They're such a high achieving team, and this recognition should make them truly proud of the achievements and the events here today at Cheadle.
So I'd just like to say a huge thanks to all the team involved in this machine, the engineering, manufacturing, operations, service and sales that have allowed this to have such success worldwide and allow the rollout of technology across the E-Tech product range.
say hats off to JCB for reaching that incredible milestone. I've got to admit, I'm actually surprised the number was that low, but I think I'm used to JCB reporting backhoe loader and telehandler sales in their hundreds of thousands. I guess electric sales have to start somewhere. Incidentally, Lee Harper, the guy with the beard that you saw in the film there, he is one of the stars of the second episode of our Tech Foresights series, which will drop early in the new year. Unless, of course, you're one of our patrons over at patreon.com/Demolition News, in which case you can see it already. Had a couple of comments, and I particularly like this one. Mick Norton is dreaming of a white Christmas, and then when all the white is gone, he's going to drink the red. Fair play to you. Dan Cullen, do you have connections in Doosan, Hyundai, and JCB? As I'd love to get some caps from them and pens. I have connections in all of those companies, but I'm not using those connections to fill your cupboard up. But we will be doing more giveaways next year. Trust me. And I would imagine one of the bigger ones will be when we get back from ConExpo at the end of March. There will be whatever we pick up while we're over in Las Vegas will be up for grabs. So please stick around for that. Nice bit of pro JCB comment today. Research and development JCB is mind-boggling and all British as well. And fair play to a JCB, a great British product. Have to throw this one up because frankly, why wouldn't you? Cannot believe it's an end to a fantastic year, end of the Breakfast Show till January. I'd like to personally thank Mark for his great shows and his hard work throughout the year. You think this is hard work? I'm keeping the show the greatest I've ever seen. Thank you, Mark, and to your son for your amazing work. And I wish you, all you guys, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Many thanks indeed, Dan. And the same back to you. Trust me, this is but a pleasure. That's what this is. A company that also looks after their staff, a Christmas bonus and a fantastic pay increase. Well done. I did see that flash across my screen. Was it £2,500 to all their employees as a thank you for this year? Fair play to them, I have to say. Great British company, and more than that, a great company as well. I think there's a temptation to, whereas in the past we used to say British was the best of the best. Now it's a case of they're great, but they're only British. JCB are way, way more than that, particularly when you see some of the things they're up to over in places like India. So fair play to them, and long may it continue.
I'm Peter Haddock, and you're watching The Breakfast Show.
And lo, it came to pass that the Breakfast Show cupboard was bare, utterly bereft of new content to share. Thankfully, many years ago, a star rose in the east. That's all I've got biblically, I'm afraid. And that star brought onto the world a whole heap of machine demonstrations during Bauma 2022. In fact, the company compiled a 30-minute extravaganza of diggers, large and small. And since this is our last working day, we thought we'd share it with you in some smaller bite-sized pieces. So let's get onto it, starting with this one.
Let's get started for sure. A very good morning, dear Bauma audience. Come on, make some noise. Are you there? Very good. Great to have you with us here today for our very first show. We started the engines and we are ready to go. Coming in here on my right side is my wonderful colleague Rainer. Rainer is coming in on a PC24MR-5. Over here we have Lars, also wonderful colleague. Lars is coming in on a PC18MR-5. Now these, as well as all other Komatsu utility machines, are a combination of the most modern technology as well as Komatsu's decades of experience. And the result, well, you can see it right here. We have compact, versatile, and super user-friendly machines with first-class performance rates. So Komatsu is, of course, offering machines in all weights and size classes, and I invite you to check them out maybe a little bit later in Hall C6, where we have exhibited them for you. So now thank you very much to Lars, and thank you also to Rainer. And with that, let me come just a little bit closer to you. Now, we started small. I'd say next, let's go big, and not just a little bit big, but very, very big. So I don't know if you can see behind me, sort of hard to miss, we have Komatsu's PC4000E right there. And all the way up there, I believe, is Matthias. Your lights are so blinding, I can hardly see you. Good morning, Matthias. How are you? Matthias is waving the key. So why don't you put the key inside and start your engine? And he's going to show us a little bit of what he can do. What we have right here is a 400-ton mining excavator. It was developed in Düsseldorf. That's also where it's being manufactured. There you go, you got it in? Okay, so go for it. Show us what you can do. So right here at Bauma, we are showing you the electrically powered version, of which Komatsu already has sold 370 units worldwide. Together with its smaller as well as larger brothers, yes, there is larger versions of this, Komatsu has sold 1,700 large excavators to customers all around the world. Now, some of these machines, they were delivered as early as the 1980s. They are still up and running today, and they have operating hours amazing 170,000, and there is no stopping them. So we've gotten a couple of quick facts together for you that you might want to know. Now, I said there's a lot of power in this. How much power exactly? 7,200 volts are in action here. And if you would like to check out the power cable that we have in the back, it is gigantic. Also, in the back we have a special entrance door through which you can be led in onto our little demo area here. So if you want to take a picture inside the bucket with, let's say, your 35 closest friends, you can do that, and I can guarantee we're going to put it down so you can just step in easily. You don't have to jump up to this height. Now, Matthias over here, he said to me, I'd really like to drive this mining excavator to Bauma, just drive it there in one piece, but we said it's just going to take too long. The top speed here is only 2.1 kilometers an hour. So we had to take it apart into 16 heavy-duty trucks and then reassemble it here, and I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, stick around. We're going to have some more from Komatsu in just a second. I just want to give you a very quick reminder. As you can see along the bottom of the screen there, the other way, there you go. Type CAP into the chat for your chance to win this, which appropriately obviously features the fine folks at Komatsu. Now, bit of this. Ready for a bit more Komatsu? Good, because here we go.
Come on in, Bernd. Okay, here he is coming in right now. We can see Bernd coming in on an HD 785-8 rigid dump truck. This one right here is used in mines and quarries all over the world, and although the dimensions are gigantic, the driving comfort actually isn't that much different from, say, a regular highway truck. Of course, the payload is a little bit different, and what we're talking here is a length of more than 11 meters, a width of more than 5 meters, and Bernd here can take a total weight of 188 tons. Hey Bernd, how are you doing up there? So Bernd here, when he goes to the gas station, he has to bring a very, 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 very big wallet, because this gas tank here fits 1,300 liters, so that's going to be quite expensive. So you might have noticed the stickers on the side. This right here is the 1000th HD 785 that Komatsu has sold to a customer in Europe. So right after Bauma, we're going to wash it all up, get it nice and clean again, and then it's going to be delivered to a very happy customer in Germany. And this puts Komatsu by far in the market-leading position in the 100-ton class. So I think Bernd's a little bit lonely. Let's give him some company now. Coming in now is the WA 800-8 to go together with that dump truck. And it's going to be brought in by our Peter over here. So what you see coming into our area now is a wheel loader. Offers a very comfortable working environment, a very spacious and modern cabin. And what our Peter here is enjoying is the AJSS steering, which is of course the joystick steering, and you're going to see him in just a moment. When now we have placed a video camera in Peter's cabin, so you can peek over his shoulders. And what we're going to do next is we're going to get Bernd and Peter in perfect position, and you will be able to watch a loading game. So here we go. Bernd getting into the perfect spot. And if we watch Peter over here, if Peter was to fill one bucket fully, he could take the weight of 312 washing machines. And if Bernd over here was fully loaded, he could take the weight of 1,162 washing machines, or also 62 Mercedes C-Class, or 14 elephants. I don't know what you'd like to transport. That's all possible. So here we go with the loading game. The added features that our Peter here enjoys are the auto kickdown function. We have the automatic bucket filling system. We have the integrated weighing system. They are, of course, just some of the many features that support our Peter or the operator here in the daily work and in the safe use of this very powerful machine. Bernd's taking a coffee break. You need a little sip of coffee, right? We'll get that for the... Oh, you have your coffee. Okay. Bernd here, super relaxed while Peter has to do all the work. Well, that's how it is sometimes. Okay, I think it's time now to move on. Yep.
It is time to move on, but please keep those prize draw entries coming in. This Komatsu baseball cap, which I've got here, as you can see, very nice it is too. Deserves a new home with someone that will love and cherish it. A Komatsu hat is not just for Christmas, you know. I'm going to throw this one up very quickly. This amused me enormously. Gary Muirhead, morning Gary, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and see you all in 2023 for some more of this stuff and nonsense. It never ceases to amaze me. I do have some terms of phrase like stuff and nonsense and leaping gazelle like over into the chat that have somehow crept into common use around these parts. That was never the intention, and I apologise having done so. Right, let me throw one of these out. It is time for Komatsu Take 3, which looks like this.
And we will be moving on to the next topic. Now, an interesting fact and something that maybe some of you might or might not know, but we're going to change that now, is that Komatsu makes machines for forestry. That happens in Umeå, that's in northern Sweden, and that's where the Komatsu harvesters and forwarders are built. And based on our wealth of experience, we have decided to develop the WA475-10 tool linkage in Hanover. Here it is, being brought in by our Lars. So let me take a quick peek here around the side. Lars likes to drive with an open cabin for us so we can peek inside. And what we see right here is that Lars is enjoying joystick steering. Show us just how easy, comfortable, and ergonomic your work is. Do you have a cup of coffee also? No coffee for you? You have a in the back? Very good. Oh, water, okay. Very important that our operators have enough fluid and food with them. So let's put Lars to work again now. This machine, as you see it here, was specifically designed for this purpose that we have prepared for you. It is equipped with special lifting kinematics to meet the demanding challenges of loading logs at peak performance. The features include a newly designed boom. We have the special reversing lever, as well as the revised hydraulic cylinders. They all ensure an extremely even power transfer, and that's what we need when lifting out these logs here from any position. And you know what? I think Lars should be put to work now. Let's have him lift up not one, not two, not three, all of these logs right now and take them for a little spin on our demo area. Come on, Lars, show us what you got. Not a problem for our Lars. Lifting all those logs and taking them for a little spin in our demo area. Great work, Lars. What we can see here also is a very small turning radius, very agile, fluid movements. And let's set those logs back down. Komatsu, as you may or may not know, are also active in the very important demolition and recycling market segment. And a key machine here is the mobile crusher. That is our BR380, and we're going to bring this baby onto our demo area now. It is being operated via remote control, which you'll see just on the big screen here now, by our operator Peter. And Peter, as you can see, can multitask. He can operate the PC290 as well as bring in the BR380 via the remote control. What we see here is Komatsu's first 02 machine in Europe. And you may ask yourself, how is that possible? Very easy. Komatsu purchases the equivalent of CO2 produced by the machine every year for the lifetime of the machine. It is a self-propelled machine that feeds material into the jaw crusher via the vibrating hopper and then crushes it to a variable size between 50 to 400 millimeters. Now, what you will have seen here on the side is that our Lars already connected the water hose, and that is so we don't have so much dust now in the air. So I'd say let's load up this mobile crusher and see it be put to work. Come on, Peter, go for it. So the first thing you're going to see is that on the right side, the smaller fragments as well as sand are being ejected. So let's get rid of those first. And now let's go for it. So metal parts are being removed with the magnetic separator, and the separated material is being conveyed with the injection belt. We also have internal sensors at work here. So in case there is a blockage, they immediately register it and they stop the blocker if need be before any damage can occur. And this is quite spectacular actually from the shows we've done during the rest of BOMA, is that, as I mentioned, we have the water connected now, so there's no dust and particles flying through the air right now. So I'd say let's wait just a moment until it's finished. Lars is gonna check right now, see how much we still have got. A little bit still in there, but I think it's looking good. Now all the parameters for the crusher as well as the conveyor belt, they can be very easily read and checked just on the side on the input panel, and then they can be controlled on the color display, and that's what you're going to be seeing in just a few moments. Lars will be showing that to you. See now, Lars is opening up the side panel to show you. You can see the color display. Everything seems A-okay. And what Lars is also going to do, he's going to switch to manual control. As you saw a little bit earlier, Peter was using the remote control to bring it in. So let's switch it up to manual now so that Lars can use the upper drive control to park the machine. First, of course, we have to disconnect the water hose. Rainer over here waiting very patiently on the WA320, which I'll tell you about in just a few moments. Okay, next thing that Lars needs to do is he needs to make sure that the pre-screening is stowed away. And close the side panel, and then we are good to go. And there we have the crushed material, by the way.
Yeah, that was the halfway point. There's just 2 more Komatsu films to come. If you want to be in with a chance to win this damn fine Komatsu baseball cap, then please follow the instructions that are rolling across the bottom of the screen. 1 second, let me just clear my throat. Now, you may have seen our question of the day relates to, perhaps not surprisingly, Christmas. My question of the day was, what is the greatest Christmas song of all time? There have been some corkers over the years. Personal favourite, I believe it's Father Christmas by Greg Lake. We've had a suggestion of the Pogues and Kirsty MacColl, Fairy Tale of New York. Damn fine song. That would probably be my number 2, I would suggest. Gary Muirhead has proposed Band-Aid, Feed the World, Do They Know It's Christmas? Some fantastic artists all together on one track, and also expressly when Bob Geldof said, send us your money live on air. I've left the expletive out. Yeah, as well as a Ultravox fan and a Midgeur fan for 30 plus years. For those that don't know, Midgeur actually wrote most of that Feed the World song. So yeah, that would certainly be my top 3 or 4 as well. Mick Norton said, Mark, I very much enjoyed the crack via your site during 2022. It's a very welcoming and informative platform which has generated some great discussions. I look forward to all you and your team have to offer in 2023. So do I, because as it stands at the moment, I have no idea what that is likely to be. Dan Cullen says, did you see the log shovel in America I sent in your WhatsApp group that lifts a whole truckload of timber? That's huge. The easy answer is no, I didn't see that because I'm having 1 or 2 issues with WhatsApp at the moment. Somebody has suggested that I just delete the app and then reinstall it. It really is playing silly buggers. I've got a bang up-to-date phone, bang up-to-date version of WhatsApp, but it is not letting me work in the way that I would like. Now, listen, here is a person, Al Grierson, I feel your pain. Hi, Mark, hi, gang. In shopping hell without headphones. Your Christmas shopping 2 days before Christmas. You must be some kind of madman. Thanks for another year of streams. Happy holidays and a happy new year to you and your family. Same to everyone in the chat. Thank you very much indeed for that, Al, and the same to you and yours. And please, additional hay for, I can't remember the name of the, Fritzy is one of them. I can't remember the name of the other donkey, but give my regards to the donkeys. Thank you very much indeed. Let's have a look. Jim Turner, question of the day, Winter's Tale by David Essex. That's come out of left field. I do remember it, but wouldn't have that down as anyone's favourite Christmas song. I am glad that nobody's mentioned Cliff Richard so far. Question of the day, Silence, sweet, blissful silence. Yeah. Elusive, blissful silence. Where's Ken? Where is Ken? Did I not see him earlier on? I'm fairly sure I saw him back at the beginning of the chat, but he did drop me a line to say that they were going for a crew Christmas breakfast this morning, so he may have ducked in and ducked back out again. But wherever he is, Ken Hatcher, not many happy returns. Have a great Christmas. Right, let me have a look. I need to throw up one of these before we get back to Komatsu.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
show and the working year is fast drawing to a close. We've got time for just 2 more Komatsu clips, and we're going to start. Let me think. We're going to start with this one.
If you want to take a peek. Okay, here's our Lars coming back up. Now, if you could just park it back over there, because we need our demo area free again. Okay. So, Rainer, as mentioned, we can see right here in the WA 320-8. This is a 16-ton wheel loader with Z kinematics and fast-reacting hydrostatic drive. It is equipped, as you saw already, with a hydraulic quick coupler, and it has its place on any construction site. This wheel loader right here is equipped with, of course, the comfortable support system that you have gotten accustomed to by Komatsu. So let me hit you with a couple of keywords. We have torque control, we have smart loader logic, we have variable shift control, and that's just to name a few. They all supply a very ergonomic and also easy workplace for our Rainer, doing an excellent job over here. So now, let's clean up this area right now. An example here are our Komatsu dozers. They're well known, well proven. I would say they're even famous. And the example that we are showing you now is the D51PXI-24. This is a bulldozer with hydrostatic drive, a 6-way blade control, and integrated 3D control. It weighs approximately 14 tons. It's super light, makes it perfect for a quick transport from one job site to the next. The electronic hydrostatic HST transmission developed by Komatsu and the Palm Command Control, they offer a very comfortable working environment on one of the most efficient machines on the market. Now, this particular machine right here has factory integrated 3D control, and what it does is it makes our operator here, our Peter, apply or remove material with millimeter precision. Also has a very simple and intuitive to use touchscreen monitor built in here. And by the way, the same 3D control you can find just over here on the PC290. And if you'd like to know more about our 3D control, we're going to put Bernd over there near the 290 to tell you all about it. But first, we need Bernd in action. Wheeled excavators, they can be found on many construction sites, and right here we have our PW100XX. It is the newest member of the Komatsu wheeled excavator series, and it gives us a little bit of a glimpse into the future. What we see here is extremely compact, it's super strong, it's very versatile. This is what the next generation of wheeled excavators by Komatsu will look like. So much happening here in our demo area. Now, the development of our wheeled excavator is not quite finished yet, as you can see in the stickers on the side, but this prototype already proves to be just as versatile as a Swiss Army knife. So let's put Bernd to work here. Thanks to the full hydraulic quick coupler, it can be quickly adapted to the job at hand with very little effort. All the required tool settings for the oil flows and the pressure, they can be stored in the system and very easily selected when a tool change is due. The further development of our wheeled excavator looks quite promising and already shows just how versatile these machines can be. What we see here are compact dimensions, a very low transport height. We are talking under 4 meters here. We have a very powerful drive, super strong when lifting and working with heavy tools. This wheeled excavator by Komatsu will be available at your local Komatsu dealer in 2024. So let's watch one more tool change. One quick tool change. Great work, Bernd. We'll see you a little bit later. If you have questions about our 3D system, please be sure to talk to Bernd, who's going to be over there on the PC 290 in just a little bit. And with that, I'd like to direct your attention over here. We have Peter in action on a machine designed for the requirements of the demolition and recycling market. Right here, we see, of course, the PC 490 HRD, and HRD stands for High Reach Demolition. Well, one very special thing about our new demolition machine is the method to change the boom configuration. At the moment, we have mounted the dig boom on the base unit, and Peter now will change this configuration to high reach demolition, and he's going to do it all on his own because I will not help him this morning, and you're not going to help him. You stay where you are, and he's not even going to have to leave his cabin because he can do it all from just inside there. Very fast using the patented quick change system. So fast that we're going to set a timer now and see how fast he can do it. He honked his horn. That's how we like to communicate. He honks at me and I set the timer. The timer is going now, and let's see just how fast our Peter here can change the configuration. Peter very concentrated at work already. If you want, you can watch this process from over here, or you can of course also watch here on our big video screen. And what you see in the top right corner is called a guidance monitor, and it will help our Peter here and show him how he needs to approach the lock system. And what he has to do is he has to line up the blue lines perfectly. Sounds very easy. It is very easy for our Peter here. You can watch this process closely on the screen. We are getting very, very close. So Peter doesn't have to guess. He doesn't have to hope. All he needs to do is aim perfectly. And if he does, and we'll see that now, he gets the blue thumbs up. The system says, yes, Peter, you did a great, great job. And let's wait for him to honk the horn again. The time, 71 seconds, so well under 100 seconds.
Yeah, impressive stuff. I actually stood and watched that, and the time I watched him, he did it even quicker than that. I'm going to hop over into the chat because we are fast running out of showtime now. Let's have a look. Mick Norton says, who in their right mind would deny an 18-year-old newbie operator the opportunity to hone his or her skills on that wonderful array of Komatsu and JCB technology shown this morning? Who indeed? Hopefully that's going to be a focus, not just for this show, but also for the wider industry next year, to encourage some more young people to actually get involved in what is a fantastic industry. We have a message here from a LinkedIn user. I'm going to take a wild guess and guess that this is possibly Gary Major. No, that's not the one I was after. That's the one I was after. I was a little surprised to see that Komatsu duck in disruptive rap at the biggest show in the industry. Always makes me wonder if they're fully ready when people do that, but yeah, there we are. That duck looks well stable with a crushing bucket out at full reach. It certainly does. Dan Cullen also says impressive changeover. 71 seconds to go from regular reach to high reach. Impressive stuff. And Mick Norton agrees. Komatsu boom configuration change was very impressive and developed right here in the UK by Komatsu UK, as you probably expect. Fantastic work, guys. I'm just going to say this very, very quickly. No, I'll tell you what, I'll play this first and then we'll come back. So this is it. The end of the clips, the end of the show, and the end of the working year. Immediately after this clip, I'm going to be finding out who has won this very, very exclusive and very, very smart Komatsu baseball cap. So you've now got about almost exactly 2 minutes to type the word cap into the chat. So make sure you get your entries in. How many entries have we had so far? I think we're up to 5 so far, which is pretty lowly. And trust me, it is a very, very fine hat. Let's have a look. I think we need one more Komatsu clip, don't we? We do. And it looks like this.
So with the PW100XX, we already sort of had a little bit of a glimpse into the future, and now it's time to go just one step further. Komatsu has set itself the goal of reaching carbon neutrality by the year 2050. And in the midterm, Komatsu plans to reduce CO2 emissions down to 50% and increase the use of renewable energies by 50% to the year 2030, and that is when compared to the numbers of 2010. So to reach this goal, Komatsu is investing a lot of time, money, expertise in alternative drive concepts, and of course, electromobility is a key word here. So in this context, we're very happy to show you a few hydraulic excavators, all with electric drive in different sizes up to the PC 210, just in there in Hall C6. But you're out here. I need to impress you out here. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the very first electrically driven wheel loader by Komatsu. Here it is. What a great audience we have. Someone's very excited over here. And of course we are too. The WA Electric is a prototype under test in which the travel drive, the steering, and all the work equipment cylinders, they're all operated electrically. The quick coupler is still actuated hydraulically, and this enables us to control hydraulic attachments and operate them in the same way as with a conventional wheel loader. In the final expansion stage of this concept, what we are planning to do is we're planning to use a battery, a very powerful battery, one that will allow us to work on the job site for a full day under regular working conditions. So we're very excited about that. Hopefully happening very, very soon.
There we are. It is time. I think we had one more entry sneaking under the radar. Let me just get rid of that because we're about to close the competition. There we are. Let's have a look. How many entries did we end up with? We ended up with 6. So without further ado, let us find out who has won the exclusive Komatsu baseball cap that I hauled all the way back from Balmer. Here we go. Gary Muirhead. Gary Muirhead has won so many prizes this year that I actually know his address pretty much off by heart. Gary, congratulations. Komatsu hat winging its way to you, and well deserved. You've been one of our most regular viewers. Really, really delighted for you. Sorry to everybody else. We do have, for those of you that were here yesterday, we do still have a spare leap air hat up for grabs. I'll do that early in the new year, see if we can give that one away as well. But that pretty much wraps up things for now. So let me get this woman on the screen one more time.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that's it. For the final time this year, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping reindeer-like. Yeah, reindeer-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day. Far more importantly, have a fantastic Christmas and New Year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support throughout the year. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this. Right, I think we need some Christmassy type music. This one, bizarrely, is called Pudding. Everyone. Right, I'm going to go to the bottom of the chat, which is not usual. Paul Latham. Morning, Paul. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Paul Latham is the star, I guess, the star of our latest In Conversation With show. Go over to YouTube, look for Demolition News, and you will see there is an In Conversation With Paul Latham. You can also find it over on Demolition News. And just to give you a very quick heads up, we've also we're going to be launching the audio versions of our In Conversations With over on I'm sorry, I've just been slightly distracted, and I'm getting warm and fuzzy feelings. Yeah, so In Conversation, we've put it over on our podcast platform, so you can listen to the audio, but also if you are a Spotify user, you can actually catch it in video form as well. And there's a bunch of them. We're releasing them all over the Christmas period, so go and take a look. And this is why I like doing this job. I love doing this job. So Gary Muirhead just won a baseball cap, fair and square, legitimately, and then he sent me this, and I can get it to play. Gary Muirhead, can you please send my prize to James Doble as a Christmas present for myself, and he could wear it to keep his head warm when he's getting his treatment. Gary Muirhead, I already thought you were a legend anyway, but that is lovely. And so nice to do on the final show of the year. I really, really appreciate that, Gary. So, James, if you're still here, let me have your address. I'm pretty sure I've got it tucked away somewhere. But regardless, let me have your address and I will get that to you. But Gary Muirhead, I tip my hat to you, sir. And Peter Haddock's just joined us. Gary is a legend, Mark. You're damn right he is. And just so people know, Gary was in New York recently and he sent me a t-shirt which I have worn and I intend to wear again, and he also sent me a can of root beer. It will be accompanying my Christmas dinner. Looking forward to it enormously. I can't believe I've actually managed to keep it in the fridge. Peter Haddock says, Merry Christmas all, and what a great year it's been for the Breakfast Show, Mark. Yeah, it really has. And is there a nicer guy on the internet than Gary Muirhead? What a star. If there is, there may be, but if there is, I am yet to come across them. Gary Muirhead, you are the new star of the show. Dan Cullen says, can't wait to see your content in 2023, Mark. 2022 will be hard to beat, in my opinion. Looking forward to meeting you at Plantworks in June. Wishing everybody a very, very Merry Christmas and New Year. And if anyone's on TikTok or Facebook, you can follow me, Dan Your Man, or Dan, plus Dan Cullen. Thank you very much indeed for that, Dan. I look forward to seeing what we've got coming up as well. Well done, Gary Muirhead. You are a gentleman, and well done. And Paul Latham echoes that. Right, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the chat now, which is what we normally do. First off the mark this morning was Mick Dalton. I don't know why Mick is so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning, but thank you very much indeed for being first off the mark. And there he is, the legend that is Gary Muirhead. Merry Christmas, Mark. Merry Christmas, guys. Last show of 2022. A bit sad, really. It's sad. I've been, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been really looking forward to shutting up shop and going to put my feet up. And now it's arrived. It's sad. Won't be here tomorrow. Won't be here next week. Won't be here the week after. Knowing how much this has become a habit, I wouldn't be at all surprised if I leapt gazelle like at some point over the Christmas period, which will annoy my family enormously. James Doble, if you are still here, he was in the chat anyway. Morning, Mark. He says, James, please remind me of your postal address so that I can get Gary Muirhead's Komatsu hat off to you as soon as I possibly can. There he is. Ken Hatcher was here after all. I didn't think I was imagining. Happy Christmas all. I'm in Wetherspoons having breakfast. Breakfast of Champions. Nick Drew is in the house as well. Morning, Mark, and morning all. I think we're all very, very jolly today, aren't we? Lots of entries for the competition, but as we know, it ultimately went to Gary Muirhead, but then it went on to James Doble in one of the nicest touches that I've seen this year. Jim Turner's here as well. Morning, Jim. Thank you very much indeed for being here. I think you have some weather, don't you? Let's have a look. What else have we got? Our question of the day was about Christmas songs. I don't think we actually came to a conclusion on the greatest Christmas song, but I'm sticking with I Believe in Father Christmas. Mick Norton says, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, and when all the white is gone, I'll drink the red. Fair play to you. I will say a very quick thank you to the team at X-Watch, who I wasn't aware of this because I was out and about for yesterday, but they very kindly sent me a bottle of gin yesterday. I'm looking for a member of the family that drinks gin. Even when I did and could drink, I was never a gin man, but I really appreciate the thought. So thank you very much indeed to X-Watch. I will be dropping them a line later today. Lots of nice comments about JCB, which I think we've covered. And yeah, a company that looks after their staff in Christmas bonuses and fantastic pay increase. Yeah, they really do. And it is very, very surprising. The number of people that I know that have worked at JCB have been made a better offer by rival firms within the same industry, and then a couple of years later, lo and behold, they're back at JCB, because JCB do take very good care of their people. Speaking of James Doble, Conexpo is on my dream list when and if I get a new kidney. I'm not entirely sure quite how many Conexpos I have left in me. I'd like to think several. I will be there in March. That's obviously going to be too soon for you to get your new kidney, James. But if I am still doing this when you are able to travel to Las Vegas, love to see you there. Really would love to see you there. That would be make my year. That would. Let's have a look. 370 units of the PC4000. That's ongoing. Yeah. When you consider, I mean, there's not many places that could accommodate a PC4000, so fair play to them. That's a lot of volts as well. I wouldn't really be charging that either. No, as anybody that's got an electric car will know, it can be pricey. Can you imagine the volts going up the tailpipe of a PC4000E? Nick Drew, just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks for your continued support of Mark's Breakfast Show. Yeah, well, thank you for that, Nick. I will echo that. I am going to be doing a separate video at some point over the next 24 hours. But yeah, this show would be pointless, frankly, if there weren't people here. I mentioned it a day or two ago. It's been a funny old year. I would say 95% more positive than I could possibly have imagined. Obviously, a couple of personal circumstances that dragged it down a bit, but getting up each morning to do this show has kept me on the straight and narrow. Has it cured my mental health issues? Pretty much. I'm hoping that's not a case of the fact that I've pushed them so far into the back of my head while I'm doing this that they're going to catch up with me at Christmas. I don't believe that's the case. But yeah, being here each day and getting to hang out with, as I described them the other day, mates. I know a lot of you guys. Obviously, I get to see Peter and Nick on a fairly regular basis. I've now met Ken. Gary Muirhead is top of my list of people to meet up with next year. Dan Collins on the list as well. Mick Norton, I'd love to get together with you at some point and chew the fat and really set the world to rights. So, yeah. Going off piste a bit here. There is Gary Muirhead again, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you all in 2023 for more of this stuff and nonsense. There'll be plenty more of this stuff and nonsense. We had a count up. I remember being told back in the day when I went freelance that there were 220 working days. By the time you take out your holidays, weekends, public holidays, national holidays, bank holidays, and all that kind of thing. There are 220 working days in a year. How many breakfast shows did we do last year? 220, exactly. That wasn't the plan, and there were gaps. There were a couple of times where we didn't do a breakfast show, but I must have worked through holidays and stuff and caught up. So yeah, impressive stuff. I say impressive. It's me talking to a camera, isn't it? I am reminded of this. Mark says, Mick Norton, I very much enjoyed the crack via your site during 2022. We made an enormous mistake when we started doing the Breakfast Show. We refer to this bit as the after show chat. Why on earth did we not call this bit the crack? Because that's what it is. It's also the most, even those that are not of the Irish persuasion, this is the crack. The crack happens on site, the crack happens around construction. Maybe when we get to 500 shows and we do our grand rebranding for the big push to 1,000 shows, good lord, maybe we will get around to renaming this part of the show the crack. And when we do so, Mick, it will be in your honour. Let's have a look. Gary Muirhead, his proposal for greatest Christmas song is Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid. Totally agree. Written and produced by Mr. Midge Ewer. Still feeling pity for our friend Al Grierson. It was World Al Grierson Day yesterday, and there he is in shopping hell today. Swings and roundabouts, Al, isn't it? Swings and roundabouts. Dan Cullen, yeah, the lady that does the Komatsu presentations really does. And it was, as you could see, there was no script there. I mean, she had really learned her stuff. Hats off to her. And doing it bilingual as well. Doing it once in English and then doing it in German. The other way around, it was a German show. Doing it in German, then doing it in English. Fantastic. Al Grierson says, so thanks for another year of streams. Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Happy holidays, happy new year to you and your family. Same to everyone in the chat. Well, same to you. Still can't remember the name of that other damn donkey. Maybe it'll come back to me. But yeah, it is. It has been a great year, and I kind of get to do what I like these days. It's really quite pleasant. Winter's Tale, David Essex, is another proposal for the best song. Now, this one is completely out of left field. Mick Norton proposes Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Husband and wife duo Elmo Shropshire and Patsy Trigg, 1979. I'm now going to have to go and look that up on YouTube and see if I can find it. Don't know that one at all. The other one that really sticks in my brain is it called Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses? Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. I'm not going to sing it for you, but I'm a particular fan of that one as well. Dan Cullen, thanks for the advice. You can refresh your WhatsApp. Had to do it a few times, having 100 plus groups. Yeah, I don't know. It just, I can see chats. I can't respond at the moment. And it's a bit of a nuisance, to be honest, but I do need to do something about it because it is part of parcel of this show these days. I'm aware that Ken Hatcher and Nick Drew are mates off of the away from this, but Ken is actually going down to the southwest, which is obviously where Digs is, on the 28th for the Hedromec Dig Day with our new local dealer MPS Southwest. Fantastic, I can fully understand that. But while he's there, apparently he is also going to be doing some DIY jobs for Tracy Veal, who is Nick Drew's landlady. Is that what we're calling her? I don't know. I think that's what we're calling her. Yeah, I was watching a video last night by a guy called Sean Cannell, an American guy, lives over in Las Vegas, one of my favourite YouTubers. When I'm not doing YouTube, I'm learning YouTube, and he has been one of the contributors to this. And he was saying yesterday about one of his plans for 2023 is to reinforce the values of his show. And it did remind me that is something, I think we do it indirectly here and on our evening shows as well. But we do have a whole bunch of values which I do think sometimes get a bit mired in all of the sexy new equipment. Things like encouraging more young people into the industry. Things like encouraging more women into the industry. Things like pressuring those in authority to investigate accidents and fatalities more effectively. I'm sure this may well break while I'm away, in which case I'll cover it when I get back. You may recall, we've reported on it in the past, Didcot happened in February 2016. About 4 or 5 months later, there was a fatal collapse of a wall in a scrapyard up in Birmingham. I think 4 or 5 migrant workers were killed. Basically, a wall collapsed. There was a bunch of scrap piled up against it. Wall collapsed. All 4 or 5 guys were killed. Both Didcot and that scrapyard thing have been under investigation. The owners of the scrap company have already been found guilty, and I think we're just waiting for a sentence to be passed. Excuse me, I was rather expecting that to have happened already, but that's been almost 7 years. By the time February rolls around, Didcot will have been 7 years. We have kept the pressure on all the way through, and will continue to do so, not just because it's a news story, but because that's where our values lie. The families of those, the 4 guys that were killed at Didcot, the families of the guys killed at the scrapyard, should have answers, should have justice, should have some degree of closure. That's another of our values. There are plenty more. Training, encouraging training and reducing the cost of training and making the training more effective and more relevant to the industry. That's another of our values, and I do think as I say, I do think some of our values do get a bit mired in amongst all the other stuff that we do. But come the new year, come the glorious day, come the glorious revolution, we will be saying a lot more about all of those sort of things. Let's have a look. Thank you very much indeed, Jim. Merry Christmas, Mark, and everyone. Wishing everyone a healthy, happy, and prosperous next year. Thank you, Jim, and the same to you, my friend. We will be doing our level best to bring you lots more previously unheard music, or largely unheard music, because I know that's one of the reasons that you tune in. Got a really sad and fuzzy feeling as going to miss these shows for the next 2 weeks. Don't know what we're going to do at 10 a.m. I could make a recommendation. You could, if you were that way inclined, you could always just go over to hang on a minute, I'm going to come back to this in a second. Hop over to YouTube. Hop on over to YouTube and watch one of the old shows at 10 a.m. Now, Dan Cullen's just put up a World Cup legend of 1966, George, has died. AJ George? I'm trying to remember the names of the... Who? Can somebody clarify that? I may fire up my phone and see if I can get that up myself. Bear with me 1 second. It'll be on trending on Twitter, I would imagine. No, not seeing it. If somebody can clarify who George is. George Cohen. Of course it's George Cohen. That is sad. Yeah, very sad indeed. We are slowly losing them. As a West Ham fan, I was driving when I got the news that Bobby Moore had passed, whatever it was, 20 odd years ago, and had to pull the car over. Obviously, we've lost quite a few more since then, and now George Cohen as well. Last time I saw Sir Jeff Hurst, he was looking fit and well, but these guys are in their 80s now. Be a very, very sad day when we lose the last of those. Not quite on the same level as losing the last of the soldiers from the First and Second World War, but these guys did do something that no other Englishman has ever done, and look are likely to do anytime soon. So yeah, very, very sad. Rest in peace, George Cohen. Let's have a look. Dan Cullen says, "Merry Christmas, Mr. Drew. Merry Christmas, Mr. Turner as well." Definitely the crack. Yeah, I think we need a bit of a rebranding. Dan Cullen, I'm on my Todd over Christmas this year. So many people in the UK. Let's wish them all a Merry Christmas. Wow, 220 shows, that's amazing. Not an easy task keeping up with all the content. It isn't. And there have actually been times this year where I've had to actually go back and watch my own shows, because I've come across stuff that I consider to be new, only to play it and then think, I'm not sure that is new, and go back and either discover, no, it is new, it's just similar to something you've seen before, or no, you featured that about a week ago. These all do merge into one a little bit. Sad to hear you're on your own this Christmas. Dan, yeah, it's going to be a funny one this year. Obviously, my first Christmas as an orphan, effectively. We'll be seeing my sister over Christmas to help keep her pecker up, as it were. But it's going to be a funny one. I've got my in-laws here on Christmas Day, then I'm off to spend some time with my daughter and her children, my grandchildren, on Boxing Day. But it is going to be a bit of a weird one, I think. I'm with Nick. Yes, we love having the crack, as we say in Ireland. Yep, totally. Recently added a number of ladies into my groups in the last few months. Good to hear. Steve Williamson is here as well. Morning, hello, and goodbye. Great content. See you in the new year. Was a pleasure watching these and meeting you in Balmont. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Steve. It was an absolute pleasure. One of the real pleasures of this job. And I don't know whether it's a fallout from 2 years of basically speaking to virtually nobody face to face, but some of the real highlights: going to Eskilstuna with Volvo, brilliant. Going to the Nürburgring and doing so in the company of Peter Haddock, fantastic. Going to Bauma and sharing a house with my son, with Peter, with Nick Grew, fantastic. All real highlights. I think in years to come, some of those, the real highlights, were not the travel, not the fancy hotels, not the nonsense that goes with it. It was just getting to meet some really, really cool people. Steve Williamson being one, Ed Butler being another, Paul Latham, who's in the chat, being another. So many. Which is one of the reasons we've called a lot of our output this past year In Conversation With. If you go over to our YouTube channel, there is a dedicated thing there, and we're also putting them up onto podcast platforms as well. I have something that I say to people when they agree to be a guest on these shows and our evening shows, that these things work best as a conversation and not an interview. A lot of people they are quite nervous coming onto shows like this, so they do ask for questions in advance. I'm happy to do that. I'm more than happy to do that. But in actual fact, these things work so much better when you just press the record button and just have a chat. And case in point, the one that we did with Paul Latham earlier this week, it was literally, I said to Paul, right, okay, take me back to your childhood, hit the record button, and an hour or so later the pair of us came up for air. And it really is, it's a remarkable story. A remarkable story of victory over adversity, and we're talking some fairly serious adversity. I've been talking about this to a lot of people over the past few days because it was such an inspirational story. For those that haven't listened to it yet, I would urge you to do so. Paul Latham was diagnosed with a brain tumour some years ago, and was basically told that the tumour would ultimately kill him. He's still here, and thank the Lord for that. But the treatment, and this is using Paul's words, the treatment was, well, the way we'll do it is we'll take your face off. Yeah, take your face off. There's only a little bit of that graphic stuff in there, but the rest of the story and you know how Paul has bounced back. If you need to feel a little bit warm and fuzzy and better about the world and just better about human beings in general, go give that one a listen. Let's have a look. Dan Cullen, easy answer. Just go to YouTube and search for Demolition News, and it works best if you type it as one word. Demolition News is one word. Instagram, we are demolition_news. Plenty going on over there. Let's have a look. Mick Norton, George Best said that George Cohen was the best fullback he ever played against. That's high praise indeed. Yeah, I tell you what I will do, just to make life easier for you, Dan, is if you have a look at the links in the show now. There you are, all our links. If you go to that link, you can see our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook. You can find out where to buy our merch. You can find out where to buy our books and so on down the line. You can go and take a look at that. Not much more to say. We've already been going for an hour and 16 minutes, and I'm sure you'd like to go and spend some time with your family. I'm not sure how many of you guys are still at work, but this is my last official duty of the year. I do have one more invoice to send off, because somebody's got to pay for the turkey, but that's me pretty much done for this year. We will be back. I've looked at the calendar and I don't know what I was thinking. I said I was going to be back on the 6th. I think the 6th is actually a Friday. Can't see much point in that. So the plan currently is to be back on the 9th, but keep an eye on your Facebook and on your LinkedIn and everything else. If something blows, i.e. with the scrapyard, if there's any announcement on Didcot, if anything else news shattering happens, then we will be back a little bit before that. But I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I'd like to wish you all a healthy, happy, prosperous New Year. And my final thing is basically to say thank you. Thanks for being here. I keep saying it, but this show doesn't work without people to share it with. I could turn up every day and just play videos into the void, but it's much better when we can have a chat about them and try and put the world to rights. So, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. As Dan Cullen always reminds us, if you are lucky enough to be with your loved ones, tell them that you love them. Enjoy your Christmas, enjoy your break. I'll see you in 2023 for, as we all know, more of this stuff and nonsense. Till then, everybody, have a great one. All the very, very best.